Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 504. Little late. I'm tardy today. Tardy Tuesday. Oh, what a busy day yesterday for me. President's Day. By the way, my wife and I were big Jeopardy fans. Uh, Ken Jennings said something. He said something at the beginning of Jeopardy last night that cracked me up. He said, "Happy President's Day to those who celebrate," which I found really fun. I mean, usually what doesn't have closed the interstate just south of us because it was so icy. In fact, it was so icy. How icy was it? When I took my dog out to potty last night, the entire back concrete patio was iced over. She had a little difficulty getting to the yard, getting to the grass. So her little paws did a little sliding on the icy pad last night, but that's supposed to clear up. We've got a system coming in Thursday, a couple inches of snow, but by Friday, Saturday, that should be good to go. Looks like I'm getting reports of frozen. That sucks. I don't have anything on my end. I don't have that nasty note at the top of my screen. Good morning, Zach. Rich says I'm spitting. Zach says I'm frozen. Freezing rain here, so could be us. No show this weekend, planning on April. Porter had no school. It was Bo's end, I think. Refresh browser. Now I have a connection unstable. Now it says please wait while we're reconnecting. So hopefully, I think if I get a moment to run some errands, I think Zach, I'm gonna hit Best Buy and get that router. I'm just afraid. Here's what I'm fearful of when I mess around with the Wi-Fi. I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't want to like get a new router or whatever, modem or whatever it is, and screw my internet up. And because that's how I watch TV, like everything's streamed. So I don't want to mess something up and then like spend 6 hours trying to get the internet reconnected and like spend 6 hours trying to get the internet reconnected. So that's that fear on so we'll see. So yeah, the weather kind of tight. But yeah, 37 high on Saturday, so that should be nice. What's up, Herman? Good morning to you. That router isn't going to be harder than that scanner. Trust me, if I could do it, you could do it. All right. So the scanner was pretty simple. So don't get a new modem, get a booster, I think is what you need. I don't want a booster. And so Zach kind of showed me the light. With the router, it actually, and then when I went to, or with the booster, because I actually purchased the booster on Amazon, and then Zach and I talked about it. I didn't even look at the reviews. I went to look at the reviews. The first 5 reviews, 4 of them were 1 stars because what it does is the boosters break up your signal strength. So say I don't know, and maybe Zach can probably help out in the chat with me because I'm trying to explain something. What I understand is that with the boosters, it basically cuts in half your strength. So while it will help in here, it'll cut upstairs. It'll cut that down. So if you're trying to stream Netflix at the same time as doing a YouTube live, it's going to actually cut, not boost. That's how I understand it. And from what I read in the reviews on Amazon that was relayed by several people in the comments. Amazon views. So I'm not going to buy a booster. Rich says hire someone. It is a business expense. That is very true. Or be simple and just unplug your modem, wait 2 minutes, replug it. So what I have done in the past is I'll move the end, and sometimes that does help. And we have in I have had more issues. There was a time where I didn't have, like, early on, I had a lot of internet issues with the strength and the freezing. And then all of a sudden, when I had my friend over and he's like, just move the antennas around. And he's actually the first one that told me about the boosters, and that's why I didn't buy a booster a year ago. Um, I couldn't remember the reason, but that now it all came back to me. It's like, oh yeah, that's why he told me not to get a booster. Um, so I moved the antennas around. So we actually had built in where the router is upstairs. We had built-in units, shelving units put in. So there's been a lot of moving around of the router, modem, whatever it is. So that's probably why I'm getting this. So I think today, after I get off, maybe I'll have to go down and move the antenna around a little bit because it's probably not to where I need it to be. So Jenny, I'm glad you brought up the unplug replug because I bet it is as simple as the antenna. That'll at least give me a little more boost because I did go several months without having many issues on the freezing. There was a time, like at the beginning of the show, where it was like every day, kind of like it's been recently. And then I went several months without any issues. And then here recently, they've popped back up. And now thinking about it, we've had a lot of work done and we've moved the router around quite a bit here over the last 2 months. Rich says, we have to get a new router. And the Frontier person says, well, we can keep your router. Our answer was it could be kept together by string and thread. So the new one was put in and it's better than the old one. Oh, nice. If you have 200 speed, it cuts it to 100 on one channel and 100 to another. Okay. Thank you, Zach. That's exactly, that's much more concise than how I was trying to explain it. Yes, it will send your internet further, but not as strong. Perfect. Perfect. What if you did a podcast audio only versus video? Oh, you were super clear now. So that would help. That would help because I don't think the audio takes as much strength as the video. What's up, Dan? Good evening to you. I blame your internet issues on the Warner rookie. Too many overloading the internet tubes. I'm always unplugging my modem at least every 3 weeks to clear its memory and reset it. Works great. Tech guy told me it gets too much stored in after time, needs reset. Interesting. I was not aware of that, but that's good to know. So yeah, yesterday was a busy day. I got my confirmation yesterday morning that we can get the second room at the Sheraton Hotel this Saturday, which is twofold, and I've kind of explained it, a couple times probably here, that it's not solely to get more vendors into the show, but mainly I didn't really make the decision to expand it until Friday afternoon because I started receiving on the Facebook, a couple of people complained about how crowded it was. And I heard some complaints at last month's show that it's really crowded in the main ballroom, which is where basically the entire show and then we have some tables out in the mezzanine. And I thought, it would really alleviate the crowd pressure. It's not ideal to have it on two separate floors, but it does, it creates more space for people, upstairs and then downstairs as well. So that was the main reason I made the decision to expand it out to the second ballroom, which just happens to be on a separate floor. So deal with the amount of crowd. And, it's funny. Excuse me. It's funny. 6 months ago, I would have begged for those complaints. Oh, it's too crowded. Too crowded. That's what we want. But it's not. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to start a card show here was we had a small hotel show, and mine's a hotel show as well. We had a small show that ran on Sundays, and there were basically 3 reasons why I wanted to start my own show. And the main reason was the other show that ran, it no longer runs. It was a Sunday show, and it was in a small side room at one of the hotels, and it was really crowded, and there wasn't a lot of people. It was maybe a 15-20 table show, but if you got 30 people in there. It was super crowded. And I like digging through bargain boxes, and it wasn't compatible because you basically could, if you had two big guys trying to get through, you couldn't get two. You had to wait. It was like single file line around, perimeter. So that was the main reason why I wanted to start a show. I wanted space so we can dig through bargain boxes. Second was I wanted a Saturday show. At that time, last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we had such a shortage on Saturday card shows. Most of the card shows around here were on Sundays. Now we have a glut of Saturday shows. They're popping up seems like every week there's a new show popping up, and it's always on a Saturday. And I think coming up like on March 12th, there's a ton of different shows on the same day, but there's limited shows on Sunday. And so I've even like started to look at, other cities in the area for, space to do a Sunday show, because there's such a need now for Sunday shows. So that was a second reason. And the third reason was I wanted longer time. The old show here in town was 10 to 2. I wanted a little more time. I wanted longer time. The old show here in town was 10 to 2. I wanted a little more time. So I think 6 to 8 hours is good, especially as the big show, the longer hours you want to have. Those were some of the main reasons. And even though it's like 6 months ago I would have begged for a crowded show, it is not ideal for customers. And if it's too crowded, they don't want to come back, because it's like, well, I didn't have a chance to even look. It was too crowded. So this will help with that. And I had a long waiting list of vendors wanting to get into the show. So not only was I able to fill the second room. I have a few tables left in the second room we added, but gets more vendors, and so we can really spread it out. So 100 tables, which I never ever would have thought when we started the show in April last year. Never ever would I have thought this show would expand to a second ballroom. We had our sights set on the hall, using the hallway, the mezzanine. Which last month was the first time that we did that. And that ended up working out great. And I think adding the second ballroom downstairs will work out great as well. Diego's with us. Hello, Wisconsin. Hello, Wisconsin. I hope you're all having a fantastic Tuesday. And for the overseas fans, a great Wednesday. Happy 2/2/22. Yeah, 2/22. 2022. Let's see. Such a great sign that as people perceive the hobby is declining, an organic show like yours is growing. Collectors win. And shows everywhere. Like there's been a couple shows that I've heard from people. I've heard feedback that traffic was slow. I put, if any shows right now are slow in traffic is down, that's completely solely on the promoter. There's no reason that shows should be in a decline, at least right now, because there is every show that I've been to. Rockford is seeing great crowds, great long waiting list for vendors. Same with Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Long line of vendors on the waiting list, and they're at like 104 tables, I believe. So it's just there's demand out there, and if a show is struggling, it's not getting promoted well enough. That 70s card show, 100 tables requires a mandatory DJ. I like it. There's a card show here on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. Herman says, just looked at tracking for my first Sport Lots box order, and it says it's out for delivery in San Antonio, Texas. Unfortunately, Herman is not. Herman is in Georgia. That's not. So yeah, 110 tables this Saturday. It's gonna be fun. I've hired my mom. I've hired my mom to come up and help out. My wife's actually flying down to Florida on Saturday, so she gets to enjoy the good weather, and mom gets to go to work and help out as I bounce around between the upstairs and the downstairs, watch my table, get everything organized. So looking forward to it. This Saturday, Madison, Wisconsin, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. It's just off the interstate. 2 floors, 110 tables. Going to be fun. Free admission. 9 to 3 are the hours. Going to be a lot of fun. What else is going on? Anything you guys have on? That's about all I had. Oh, the yesterday, the punishments have been levied during the skirmish at the end of the Michigan Wisconsin basketball game that occurred on Sunday. Juwan Howard, who swung at and connected with an open-handed slap/punch with Wisconsin assistant coach Joe Krabenhoff. Juwan Howard was suspended the rest of the regular season, which is 5 games, and fined a Big Ten record of $40,000. 2 Michigan players were suspended 1 game for swinging punches, and 1 Wisconsin player was suspended for 1 game. Greg Gard, head coach at Wisconsin, he was fined $10,000. Athletic director Chris McIntosh came out and said, "We consider it a Wisconsin fine, not a Greg Gard fine." So the Wisconsin athletic department will be paying Greg Gard's fine. $40,000 for Juwan Howard. That's a lot of money. That's the highest fine that the Big Ten has levied. But remember, Juwan Howard had a lengthy NBA career. I don't think 40 grand is going to affect his pocketbook very much. But you know, it is what it is. I have my thoughts on everything yesterday. As far as I'm okay with it. Punishments were levied. Let's just move on, and we're less than 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday. Time to focus on NCAA tournament, or for Michigan, the NIT. I had to get that job in. So I'm looking forward. This is when I start really getting back into college basketball. I'm really into it the first month of the season with around Thanksgiving. They have some great they're not technically they're not preseason tournaments, but pre-conference tournaments, I guess is a better word. So I really get into it around Thanksgiving into December. And then once the conference season starts, it's kind of the dog days. It's just, when you have a long work day, it's like you go into work. If you're in the office, you go into work. Hey, you talk to your buddies, your coworkers, talk about the game, talk about the skirmish and the Michigan Wolverine game. And, that first hour of work, it's like, yeah. And then you get in to like the grind of the day. And then it's like, oh, and it's slug through it. But then an hour before the bell rings, you get excited because now it's like, hey, I'm almost off work. I'm going to go out, play trivia tonight, bar trivia. I'm going to, see the wife. I'm going to play with my baseball cards. And then, you get the light at the end of the tunnel. We're at the light at the end of the tunnel part of the regular season, where now we see our focus shift to the postseason and the NCAA tournament and the conference tournaments and then the NCAAs. So I'm at that point where it's like I'm back. I'm pumped up again for college hoops. Dan's new school year starts. Has a today has to be athletes who tried music. Shaq, I had to text one of my high school friends. I was watching the NBA All-Star game. So and I don't know if it was probably a Columbia House purchase. I was a huge Shaq fan. Like Shaq is what turned me on to the NBA in the early 90s. And of course, Shaq had a rap career in the 90s. And one of his songs was called Phil Was My Father. And it's basically an autobiography of Shaq's life. His stepfather, Philip Arthur Harrison, word up. He was the one who took me from a boy to a man. So it's heartfelt. But it's a silly rap. And so me and my friend Chuck from high school, like we would recite those lyrics like over and over. So in one of the Shaq and again, it was very heartfelt. You know, gave like this speech about being named to the 75th team and what it meant. And he went on this, um, basically like his life story and who helped him get to that point. And he name dropped Philip Arthur Harrison, and it's like as soon as he said it, I'm like word up. So I had to text my buddy Chuck and say Philip Arthur Harrison name drop. So then he recites the next line in the rap. Super Bowl Shuffle, Dion, the list goes on. You know who has, in all seriousness, with athlete musicians? Well, Bernie Williams is a great. Now, does he play saxophone? Bernie Williams is like jazz, I think. In fact, I think he has a baseball card where he's playing an instrument. Bronson Arroyo, I came out with an album probably 15 years ago, and his stuff is good. Bronson Arroyo, country. Joe West, the did it. Yeah, Joe West had some country songs back in the day. Rich, got to go prep for the 8:30 dentist appointment. Guess he needs another new addition to his house. There you go. Good luck with that. I hate the dentist. I actually like my dentist personally. I just hate that. I hate dentistry. I hate people in my mouth looking at my teeth. My dentist is a Cubs fan from the Chicago suburbs, so I like that here. We're surrounded by a lot of Brewers fans, so smaller Cubs fans in Wisconsin. Dan, watch Ron Rivera on Eisen, talked about pain in the shuffle. Zach is Porter on a snow ice day. Here in Minnesota, they're doing e-learning. I think snow days are a thing of the past. Yeah, I saw some of my friends who have kids complaining about snow days, and apparently it's become a thing where they do give them like actual snow days. Like for a time it went to like e-learning. But I don't know if it was just if it was a lot of drawback from the community or what. But I can't remember which district. It was one of the districts that I have friends in down in Illinois. They had a snowstorm last week, so they made it an e-learning day. So in school was canceled, but it was e-learning, so they had to do school on the computer. And I guess there was a lot of like brushback, and so they canceled the e-learning day, and it became a true snow day, which is cool. I like that they do that, so it's not like because they still give you like the state gives you 5 snow days per year or 10 or whatever it may be, and then after that it cuts into your school year. So I think it's awesome that you have that ability to use an day, as long as you still use. Say you get 5 snow days per year before it cuts to the end of the year. So if you have a terrible winter, and we've had terrible winters here in the Midwest, where if you've used like 15 snow days, you're going to school into June. That sucks. Because a day off is fun, go play in the snow, but would you rather have a snow day in January in 20-degree weather? Or would you like to be done with school in June and enjoy the nice 70, 80-degree weather? About the summertime. So I think it's cool. I don't know, and it might be like every district is different, but now at least with e-learning, you have that capability to where it's not going to eat into the school year. Where if it's an e-learning day, like it's not a snow day, you're still at school, so it's not gonna elongate, is that the right term? Elongate the school year. It's not going to lengthen the school year. So you're not going to be going into school in the middle of June. Let's see. Maybe he took the Michigan job because he blew his money and couldn't find anything else. Closed here, Jenny. By the way, how are the Goodwill sales going? Are you seeing mostly Series 1 sales right now? So eBay sales, I'm seeing a lot of, it's almost like the Series 1 sales have like boosted my traffic, because I'm like Series 1 is just moving like hotcakes still today. By the way, I did not track Wander Franco sales. But basically, basically uh, my exercise blew up in my face because the reason I wanted to do the Wander Franco price exercise was just to show you how far the prices will drop in 2 days over release weekend, and that wasn't the case. So the average, so I on Saturday after I went live on Saturday morning, I looked at the last 10 sold Wander Franco base rookie cards, and so they varied, and it was actually there were a couple outliers. The low end outlier was there was a $10 sale. These are all eBay. Then there were a couple auctions that actually ended pretty high. The highest of the 10 was $24.15, $15, $14.90, $19.25, $14.99, 15 even, $14.75, $16.54, and then $24.79. Those were the last 10 sold prices for the Wander Franco. Let's see. I'm going to have to, oh, there it is. So when I looked yesterday, they were still, so that's an average of about $15. They were still averaging on Monday morning about $15. Let's take a look. Now we're at Tuesday. Even more has been ripped. So last night or early this morning, one sold at auction over $20. Base rookie card of Wander Franco sold for $20. I'm doing the math in my head. $20.88 shipped. Let's see. Here's one $13. Wander Franco base rookie cards, a lot of 4 sold for $64.45. So that's roughly $16 a card. Another lot of 4 sold for $55 shipped. Here's a single card sold for $17.95. Like they haven't moved. $14.99, $14.99 plus shipping. So that was about a $20 sale. There's another $20, $18.99 to be accurate. So the sales have not come off at all. Like the last 10 this morning, Tuesday, are the same as what we saw Saturday morning. Wander Franco base, there's going to be, somebody did the math, and there's going to be roughly 750,000 of each base card of 2022 Top Series 1. So we can revisit in, maybe in a couple weeks and see if they've dropped in price at all. They're going to drop eventually because there's just so much Top Series 1. Mass produced, and it should be. I have zero issues. In fact, I want Top Series 1 to be overproduced, mass produced, I think is the word I want to use. So that's what it's there for. It's like we need cards, save some for the kids. Well, here it is. This is Tops. This is 3 point. This is what the kids, and I know they want the shiny, what dad, mom, or, but let's see. 70s Card Show. Philly to O'Hare tonight. O'Hare to Philly tomorrow. Quick trip. I saw the Franco of 71 sold for $2,800 plus in auction. Yep, it's wild. Going to put my cards up and then it will crash. I didn't get my eBay bucks, by the way. I did not get an eBay bucks promotion yesterday, which I'm gonna have to. I need to what I like to do for eBay stores. We get these eBay branded. I haven't bought a bubble mailer. I haven't bought bubble mailers in years because I use enough. However, I'm down to like a dozen. I used to have my storage was filled with eBay boxes, supplies. I'd get, and it's like I'd have a extra box of small bubble mailers. So the next quarter I would buy the large bubble mailers, wouldn't use those. So the next quarter I'd buy boxes. The next quarter, maybe I'd order another small. Yeah, I've got a dozen small, and I've still got a bunch of the large bubble mailers. So if I do run out before the next shipment comes in, I can use the large. And then the boxes, I've actually been using the boxes. I didn't use one until recently. I started putting commons in those, just so I can use the 4-row, the monster boxes, the 4-row boxes. And then like commons that I have behind me, actually those are Cubs, commons that I have behind me somewhere in this room, I can put in those eBay boxes. So the reason I was talking about that, I like to wait until I get a 5% eBay Bucks promotion, because even though I'm not paying, like I get a $50 coupon to use toward eBay branded supplies, I still receive eBay Bucks for those purchases, even though I don't spend a dime. So, I spend $50 on supplies and I get 5%. I get $2.50 in eBay Bucks. So it's basically an extra $2.50. So that's why I like to wait. So I'm like, I saw the eBay Bucks yesterday. It's like, oh, sweet. I need to order those bubble mailers anyway. I can get that eBay Bucks money. But now I'm at the point where I have to order them, and I haven't received an eBay Bucks promotion this quarter. So that's where I'm at. Let's see. I'm going to wrap things up. Dan's going to bed. Good night, Dan. Have a great Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be on time tomorrow, playing bar trivia tonight. Checking out a new place. A new, because the spot that we were doing started doing turbo trivia, and it's like it sucked. It really sucked. So we're switching spots. Back to the hopefully the new spot that we go to tonight. Hopefully they're not turbo trivia. And I think it's just a team of it's 2 for sure, maybe 3. So our trivia team, since COVID, our trivia team has been, there's been just like 3 of us that actually go. So hopefully we have a team of 3 tonight. Gives us a little bit of a chance. So that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. 7 a.m. tomorrow, and if I'm not late, have a great Tuesday, and we'll talk tomorrow.